It's time for America Outdoors Radio. The fast-paced hour of outdoors radio ahead is not only awesome, but unlike those other shows, you can actually sleep in for this one. Better still, we've got a special Pacific Northwest edition for you, sponsored by Northwest Sportsman Magazine. You won't find this version of America Outdoors Radio anywhere else. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. Brought to you by Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
Welcome to the show. We've got two guests for you on our Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. Nello Pasinich, the Executive Director of the Coastal Conservation Association, will join us at the bottom of the hour to tell you about a place to go catch shad right now on the Columbia River. And no, it's not below Bonneville Dam. At the end of the hour, we'll check in with Lance Mers. He's with Max Lure Company. And if you've had problems finding the right lure for those salmon to bite on, whether you're fishing the salt off of Ilwaco or Westport or in the Sound, Lance has got just the lure for you from Max Lure Company. And now, let's find out what's hot right here in the Pacific Northwest. Checking NorthwestFishingReports.com. A regular Lake Goodwin kayak angler battled the pleasure boats and ski-doos over Memorial Day weekend to land 3 rainbow trout, trolling a dock sprat leaf fly behind a double-aught Max Double D Dodger, and one of those trout was a dandy, weighing in at just under 3 pounds. Another angler had a decent day trolling the south end of Lake Sammamish this past week with downriggers, reeling in 9 cutthroat trout, several measuring 18 to 22 inches. The magic depth for him using cut plugs and spoons, 22 feet. East of the Cascades, Pete Fisher with Fisher Brothers Bait and Mardon Resort reports the crappie action has been very good on Potholes Reservoir. An angler walked into the Mardon Resort store last week, told Pete he and his buddy took 2 limits of big crappie on the reservoir. Pete got a look at these panfish and told me the smallest crappie was 12.5 inches long and the biggest over 14 inches. They were caught back in the sand dunes around the submerged beaver huts in 5 to 15 feet of water. They're catching them off the Mardon dock too. Not as big. We're talking about 8 to 11 inches here, but lots of them. And Pete reported catching 35 of them himself in 2 hours there over the last week. Want to find out what they're biting on? Drop by the Mardon Resort store, or better yet, book a stay at the resort. Your first stop to do so is going to MardonResort.com. Going out onto the saltwater, Wayne Cruz with the Everett Herald suggests in a recent article that the Tulalip bubble fishery ought to offer a fair shot at king salmon. Wayne talked to longtime guide Gary Crine with All-Star Fishing Charters, who suggested trolling a green kingfisher or coyote spoon in 40 to 70 feet of water to start with. Another option is to jig a Point Wilson dart in 15 to 30 feet of water, and green again is the color of choice. Heading to Westport, they had a blessing of the fleet there over the Memorial Day weekend, and it would appear the fleet has been blessed indeed. They had a short but sweet halibut season, and the Westport Charter Association reports the fishing for rockfish and lingcod has been, and I'm quoting here, excellent. Finally, don't put away your salmon gear yet, because when it comes to Bonneville Dam, you can say better late than never as far as the spring Chinook go. Nearly 27,000 adult Chinook came over the fish ladder between the 22nd and the 28th of May, saving a season that appeared to be a complete bust. We are still sitting at only 50% of the 10-year average, but that's a lot better than the 20% of that average where we were at a couple of weeks ago. And with that, you now know what's hot here in the Pacific Northwest.
And with that, let's head to this week's national edition of America Outdoors Radio.
Rad Power Bikes is an electric bike manufacturer offering direct-to-consumer pricing on powerful premium electric bikes. Because they sell direct to you, the consumer, you won't see the large retail markup that would be present if you were buying from a third party or a dealer, ensuring you're always getting a performance e-bike at a fraction of the cost. Visit radpowerbikes.com or call 1-800-939-0310 to learn more about their models or to place an order. Join Rad Power Bikes in jump-starting the electric bike revolution today.
Backcountry hunters and anglers, the men and women working hard to keep public lands in public hands. Check us out at backcountryhunters.org.
It's time for America Outdoors Radio, the show that covers the outdoor scene across the U.S. of A. and the entire continent. Fishing, hunting, conservation, outdoor recreation, and great destinations. We cover it all every week. It's your country, your outdoors. Let's explore it together with your host, John Cruz.
Welcome to June. We'll start things off with a pat on our own back. Don't do this often, but it is our 1-year anniversary. I know, it's hard to believe a year's gone by, and it went like a whirlwind. When we launched this show 12 months ago, we were airing on 23 stations in the Pacific Northwest. Now, we're airing on 46 stations and can be heard in 11 states around our great nation. I'd like to thank all of you who have joined us for the ride. And boy, what a fun ride it's been. That means the stations and managers and programming directors who have picked us up. It means you listeners who tune in to our show on a regular basis. And it means our sponsor, Media Index Publishing, which produces 4 great outdoors magazines, which are the American Shooting Journal, California Sportsman Magazine, Northwest Sportsman Magazine, and the Alaska Sporting Journal. Without all of you, we would not be here today sharing the outdoors with you for another great hour. So once again, thank you so much. We are humbled to be here, glad to be here, and let's tell you what's coming up this week on America Outdoors Radio. We're going to kick things off in California, where guide Kevin Brock is going to give you a fishing report covering a couple of species that don't get the attention they deserve. They are the American shad and the striped bass. Now is prime time to fish for both of these species, and Kevin will let you know where to go and how it's going. We'll head north from California to southeast Alaska. That's where Brad Stewart joins us again from Alaska's Boardwalk Lodge. Turns out they are offering a special cast and blast deal for ducks and silver salmon this September and October. I'm excited about it. I think you're going to want to hear about it too. After we talk to Brad, we're talking to a guy with a heck of a name. His name, Colorado Buck. He's actually not from Colorado. He lives in Texas, and he's got a TV show called Where in the World is Colorado Buck? It's a hunting show you can catch on the Pursuit Channel and on Wild TV in Canada, and he just filmed a show about hunting bears in northeast Russia. We're going to ask him all about the bears in Russia and how a Russian guided hunt compares to a North American guided hunt. Zigzagging across topics and geography, we'll next head to Arkansas, where the annual Simmons Bank Big Bass Bonanza is getting ready to kick off along the length of the Arkansas River from the state border of Illinois all the way across the Razorback State to the border of Mississippi. A $50,000 check is up for grabs for the amateur angler who catches the biggest largemouth bass during this derby, and you've got just as much chance to win as anyone else. We'll tell you how you can get in on the action and the fun. Another tournament open to the public features both golf and marlin fishing. You'll find this one near Loreto on Mexico's Baja Peninsula, and you can take part in one or both events at the end of July. It's brought to you by the Villa del Palmar Resort in the islands of Loreto. I was there last summer covering this event, and trust me, this is a fabulous place, and it's going to be a great time. What else do we have for you? How about outdoors news covering everything from man-eating sharks to walleye fishing tournaments and some very weird bait for bass? We'll finish things off talking to Clint Carey with Hughescraft, the company that makes some mighty fine aluminum fishing boats out of Washington State, and it turns out they make some pretty good walleye boats too. But before we talk about fishing boats in Washington, it's time to head to Northern California for some fishing. Next on America Outdoors Radio, we're taking you to Northern California. That's where we are hooking up with Kevin Brock. He is a fishing guide there, been doing this for 22 years, just got off the water. Kevin, welcome to the show. How's the fishing been over there lately?
Well, hey, thanks, John, for having us on. We sure appreciate that. But the fishing over here has just been absolutely fantastic. And I know that all fishermen say that, but no, it really has been good. We're catching stripers. When we fish for stripers, we're catching trout, and we're catching all kinds of shad, and the bass fishing in the lakes is fantastic. So, I mean, within a half hour of the Northern California area, just this big circle, you've got incredible fishing right now. It's kind of the time of year that everybody waits for.
So let's talk about a couple of the fisheries that you're dialed in on right now. We'll start off with the striper, striped bass. Some of our listeners are not familiar with these fish. Tell us a little bit about them and where you're catching them right now.
Well, striped bass were introduced to the Northern California area in the late 1800s, and they have just bloomed and spawned successfully on their own and just made just a huge impact on our area, for not only for fishing, recreational, and commercial. So it's just been a fantastic fish. The great thing about stripers is if you like to catch fish, they're biters, and they're aggressive, and they want to eat other fish and little fish and topwater fish. So we're catching these stripers. I mean, we caught fish, today that were 12 inches, and we caught fish over 12 pounds. They're all mixed in together. This year, our biggest so far just tipped the scales at 39.3 pounds, and the day after that we had a 32.2 pound, monster stripers. Last year we had one 42.4. So every year we get a few fish in that 40-pound range for stripers.
That is amazing. Are you catching them on the Sacramento and Feather Rivers, and how are you doing it? Are you using like crankbaits?
We are catching them both on the Sacramento and Feather River. Right now we're on the Sacramento in the Colusa area, and then crankbaits will work, but the bait of choice is a swim bait, to cast a swim bait, a 5-inch swim bait, or use a live minnow. Live minnows are just fantastic. They work. These tackle stores sell out of hundreds of thousands of minnows a year just for these stripers. We get big old jumbo minnows. Our boats hold 10 dozen for all the clients, and so we like the jumbo minnows. That's our first. If we're going to cast, we love the swim baits, 4 to 5 inch swim baits, anything in the white with a chartreuse tail, white with a red head. Those are awesome. And or we fish, if the water's muddy, we'll fish sardines and anchovies. But first of all, always, you can't go wrong with a minnow.
All right, let's turn our attention to the American shad. Now, there's a lot of anglers on the East Coast that have fished for these for years. You'll find them on the Columbia River in good numbers in the month of June, and on the Umpqua River right now in Oregon. But what about the Sacramento River? I understand you've got a good run there, too.
Well, the Sacramento, is the mother river, and then the sister rivers of the Feather, the Yuba, and the American, all that, tributary into the Sacramento River itself, all also have monster shad runs. And I'm talking runs where we can get 20, 30, 40, 50 fish in an evening. And so the shad fishing here on the American shad from 3 to 5 pound fish is fantastic. It's one of those things that a lot of people didn't look at for years, but it's really caught on with the fly fishermen, throwing shooting heads, fishing out of little prams, little boats, and they can catch lots of fish. And then the guys that want to take them home and smoke them, a lot of those guys, are casting off the bank, but it's a light line. It's an easy fish to catch. It's a great fish to take your kids, all of the above. But if you want to catch some fish, shad is definitely the way to go.
Oh, I agree. And they're really sporty fighters. I've enjoyed it when I've gone fishing for them before. Up in the Northwest where I live, folks tend to use them mainly for crab bait or sturgeon bait. I know back east they'll eat them. What do they do with them where you live?
Well, I'll tell you, the guys and the anglers have definitely become more educated. And we, over the period of time, have started filleting the shad and smoking them and canning them. And they're fantastic eating. Now we've got YouTube and Google search and everything else, and you just click on there, shows you the instructions step by step, and they're easy to do. They're easy to fillet, and they're really, really good. They're fantastic. You can get so many fish in the afternoons. In a couple of days, you can have as much canned shad as you want.
All right, we have got to go. But, folks, if you want to book a striper fishing or a shad fishing trip with Kevin Brock, or maybe you want to go out with him for salmon or steelhead or sturgeon or trout, he does all of that, too. He's been doing it a long time. Go to his website. It's fishkevinbrock.com. That's fishkevinbrock.com, offering fishing for you throughout Northern California. Kevin, thanks for the report. We sure appreciate it.
Hey, thanks so much for having us on the air, and my friend, fish on.
The Caddis Game Changer breathable waders are going to change the way you fish. You've always counted on Caddis waders to keep you warm and dry through the years, and Caddis never lets you down. Now comes the Game Changer. It's the same tough durability and the addition of a zippered hard pouch pocket that opens up to become a work shelf. Now you can change accessories on the water for maximum flexibility. Look for Caddis Game Changer breathable waders wherever quality fishing products are sold or online at caddiswaders.com.
Tillamook Bay is considered the greatest fishing experience on the west coast for fall Chinook salmon and winter steelhead, and Dungeness crab is plentiful. 5 major rivers connect with the ocean on the Tillamook coast. It's not unusual to snag a 40 to 50 pounder. Go out in a boat or stand on a riverbank or dock. Try fishing from a dory boat and experience the thrill of a beach launch and landing. Use spinners, sand shrimp, or salmon eggs to lure them. The fish will line up to grab your bait. Go to tillamookcoast.com/fishing to find guides and places to stay.
We at DIP Inc. manufacture high-quality, useful products for your modern rimfire needs. We specialize in quality aluminum parts. Replace your junky plastic parts with our special custom-made in the USA products. Visit us at DIP Inc. for all your rimfire needs. Find out more at DIProductsinc.com. That's DIProductsinc.com. Your rimfire specialists.
Rad Power Bikes is an electric bike manufacturer offering direct-to-consumer pricing on powerful premium electric bikes. Because they sell direct to you, the consumer, you won't see the large retail markup that would be present if you were buying from a third party or a dealer, ensuring you're always getting a performance e-bike at a fraction of the cost. Visit radpowerbikes.com or call 1-800-939-0310 to learn more about their models or to place an order. Join Rad Power Bikes in jump-starting the electric bike revolution today. Garibaldi Charters offers fantastic fishing for salmon, tuna, halibut, and bottomfish off the North Oregon coast. With only an hour-and-a-half drive from Beaverton, you can get here in a hurry and go fishing. 2 of our more popular offerings include private charters for salmon and live bait tuna fishing. We can also accommodate groups of up to 20 people on our boats. Book your adventure now at GaribaldiCharters.com or call 1-800-900-HOOK. That's 1-800-900-HOOK or GaribaldiCharters.com.
Looking to book an Alaska cast and blast you'll always remember? Brad Stewart with Alaska's Boardwalk Lodge has the details.
From the 15th of September to the 15th of October, we will be casting for the largest silvers of the season. They can top 15 to 20 pounds. And we will be blasting ducks, including mallards, pintails, and teal.
Find out more at BoardwalkLodge.com. That's BoardwalkLodge.com for a great cast and blast.
Need to get away? Then head to Mardon Resort in sunny Central Washington. The fishing's awesome, wildlife is everywhere, and Mardon is the perfect place to swim, boat, and soak up the sun. When the day is done, hang out at the beach bar and grill or head to your tent, RV, hotel room, or fabulous park cottage. Call 1-800-416-2736 to book now. That's 1-800-416-2736 for Mardon Resort.
Looking for the safest, most stable riding boat on the market? Welcome to Stabicraft. Born in New Zealand, Stabicraft has a built-in reputation for making the most seaworthy boats on the market. Heavy-gauge aluminum chambered boats with models ranging from 14 to 29 feet in a variety of configurations to suit all your needs. Check out the all-new 2750 center cab, a walk-around design for the Northwest market, and packed with industry-leading features to suit all types of fishing, allowing you to adventure with confidence. Book a test ride today at Stabicraft.com.
You're back with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. This portion of the show is brought to you by the Alaska Sporting Journal, covering fishing, hunting, and adventure in the last frontier. Look for it at a newsstand near you. We are chatting with Colorado Buck. He is the host of Where in the World is Colorado Buck, airing several days a week on both the Pursuit Channel and Wild TV in Canada. Colorado, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. I'm glad to be in.
So, Colorado, you just got back from filming a bear hunt in northeast Russia with a mutual friend of ours, Keith Kellogg. Gotta ask, how do these bears compare to the black bears, browns, and grizzly bears you find in North America?
You know, as far as comparisons, they're probably just a shade smaller in size of the biggest of the brown bears in Alaska. They differ in another way, and there's just so many more of them. We would go out each day. We would see bottom end of 2 to 10 plus bears a day. And to go out this time of the year in the places I've been in Alaska and in Yukon and other parts up north, you just don't see that amount of bear. They're somewhere north of 27,000 population just in on the Kamchatka Peninsula. So that's a stark difference there. You know, and if you get up to Alaska, the biggest of the big, you probably find in Alaska and along the Aleutian chain and that area there. But as far as sheer numbers, you're going to find a lot more numbers of them over there. And condition of the bears, a lot of times, if you get up in Alaska and that part of the world, a lot of them bears are dealing, when they come down out of the higher country, a lot of times they rub the hairs off of the bottom of their legs. And a lot of times they got face mites, they got more rub spots. We never seen one bear over there. Any of them that we saw in the war had not one rub spot on them anywhere. It's just really, really brilliant as far as hair goes.
So, nice to know there's lots of opportunity over there in Russia. How about the guided experience? What's a Russian guided hunt like compared to a comparable North American hunt you'd find in Alaska or maybe British Columbia?
There's more people involved. Still got remote camps, but they've built these camps. The poverty level over there is pretty high. And they're so happy to have jobs and be making any kind of decent money doing something that they like to do, where because of that level, you would go into a camp that you would find 6 or 8 people in the staff, where you, as if you come back to the States, Canada, British Columbia, they couldn't afford to pay the people the kind of wages that they draw over here versus what them people over there are used to. And the whole experience was just totally pleasant. You couldn't ask for any more. And there was a person to do every job over there. You really felt almost guilty. They waited on your hand and foot.
Well, it sounds like a great experience indeed. Last question for you. When do we get to see this on your show, Where in the World is Colorado Buck?
We will be rolling out a whole new set of shows starting July 1, and that'll run for 13 weeks. So somewhere between end of July and the first part of August.
All right. Again, that's Colorado Buck, folks. He's the host of Where in the World is Colorado Buck. Be sure to tune in this summer to catch this episode about hunting bears in Northeast Russia and catch all of his shows on the Pursuit Channel and Wild TV in Canada. You can find airtimes and more information by going to his website, HeyColoradoBuck.com. That's HeyColoradoBuck.com. Colorado, thanks for sharing this with us on America Outdoors Radio.
You bet. Thanks for having me on, Don.
Next on America Outdoors Radio, we are taking you back to Alaska's Boardwalk Lodge. We're talking to Brad Stewart because he's got something really cool coming up later this year, a Cast and Blast adventure, and you are invited. Brad, welcome back to the show.
It's good to be here, John.
Brad, why don't we start off? For our listeners who didn't hear the last interview you did with us, tell them a little bit about Alaska's Boardwalk Lodge in terms of where you're located and what folks are going to find when they get there.
Well, the first thing is they're going to find a wonderful staff. We are located on beautiful Prince of Wales Island, just outside of Ketchikan, Alaska. It's nestled in a beautiful cove called Thorn Bay.
This isn't just a lodge, folks. I mean, this is an Orvis-endorsed lodge. It's one top lodge from Sporting Classics. This is really a nice place with great amenities and great food, too. But I think folks are really interested in hearing about what you're offering. This Cast and Blast adventure, when is it taking place and what's going to happen there?
Yes, let's talk to the Cast and Blast first. This is a venue that is offered by us as a shorter season offer from the 15th of September to the 15th of October. We will be casting for the largest silvers of the season. They can top 15 to 20 pounds. And we will be blasting for ducks, including mallards, pintails, and teals.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun to me. And folks, I love early season waterfowling, and it doesn't get much earlier than mid-September. So this sounds great. Let's talk about the silver salmon fishing a little bit more. Is this saltwater fishing, or are you fishing in streams with fly rods and spinning gear?
Yeah, thank you, John. This is all freshwater fishing. By the middle of September, everything on the saltwater pretty well dies out, but the silver salmon are in the freshwater by then, and there can be just tons of the silver salmon.
So you mentioned they get up to 20 pounds. Here's another question for you. When it comes to Alaska streams, how well do they hold up in terms of their food quality? I mean, are they turning dark really quick, or when you're catching them, are they still really good table fare?
They're typically very good taste, and that's a good question. They are coming in from the ocean, which is usually just a couple of miles from where we are fishing. So that's an advantage. The second thing is that they will turn dark after a couple of weeks in the freshwater, but typically they're just wonderful to eat, and we would expect our guests to take up to 6 home with them per day.
That is a lot of salmon. All right, let's turn our attention to the duck hunting. Again, mallards, pintail, which is probably the classiest looking duck out there, and those fun to shoot teal. I'm guessing you're talking green-winged teal if you're in Alaska. Where is this hunting taking place? Again, saltwater or freshwater?
It's on the freshwater in the estuaries to several of the rivers and streams on the island. We are 20 minutes from the largest river on the island. It's called Thorn River, and the estuaries there are just plentiful with the ducks.
So are your clients hunting out of a boat, or are they hunting out of a blind, and what's the decoy setup look like out there?
They're hunting from a blind. We have all of that in place for them. The ducks are attracted to the water right in that area.
All right. And I'm guessing that, we have to wait because I don't think we actually know yet what the limits are going to be. But generally speaking, we're talking about 7 ducks a day and 14 in possession. Is that about right?
That is correct.
All right. Well, there you go. If you are looking for a really fun trip that involves freshwater fishing for silver salmon, which involves some great early season duck hunting opportunities, check out BoardwalkLodge.com. The website again is BoardwalkLodge.com. And as you heard, since this is taking place September 15th through October 15th, there's only a certain amount of spots available. So you want to book now. The website, one more time, BoardwalkLodge.com for an Alaskan cast and blast. Brad, thanks for telling us about this on America Outdoors Radio.
Great to be with you again, John.
Looking to book an Alaska cast and blast you'll always remember? Brad Stewart with Alaska's Boardwalk Lodge has the details.
From the 15th of September to the 15th of October, we will be casting for the largest silvers of the season. They can top 15 to 20 pounds. And we will be blasting ducks, including mallards, pintails, and teal.
Find out more at BoardwalkLodge.com. That's BoardwalkLodge.com for a great cast and blast.
Is your firearm Bortec clean? Bortec offers a full line of premium firearm cleaning and maintenance products. They redefine gun care and offer serious shooters the clean and well-maintained firearm you need to make the most accurate shots at the range or in the field. Bortec products set the benchmark and make gun care simple, quick, and effective. Find out more at Bortec.com. That's BORTECH.com. And use the code RADIO to get a 10% discount on your first order.
It's time for another local shot of the outdoors. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, and you'll only hear it here on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
Next on the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, it's one shad fisherman talking to another. We are talking to Nello Pasinich. He is the executive director for the Coastal Conservation Association in Washington State. Nello, the shad run has not yet materialized over Bonneville Dam. As a matter of fact, we're looking at literally 1% of the long-term average that's crossed the dam. Is it any better? Are you hearing anything in terms of the shad being further downstream?
Yeah, John, I have one shad fisherman to another. Boy, I have a couple of boys that love getting out and catching numbers of fish. I've participated in the fishery for the last number of years. So I haven't been out myself, but I have been hearing some reliable reports from guys that are fishing in the middle section of the river. I would say, below Vancouver, above Longview. They're going out of Ridgefield, Woodland, and have over the last 5 or 6 days been reporting, say, very good shad fishing, in the numbers of 30, 40, 50 in a day or in an afternoon after work. So there's fish down there, and let's hope that it's just the high, cold water that's slowing them down getting over Bonneville right now.
Whew, that is a relief, because I'll tell you what, I was really worried. Quick question for you. I'm not familiar with how they're fishing for them down there. Are they out in a boat and basically plunking a Dick Knight, or are they fishing from shore and fishing a shad dart below a weight? How are they going about it?
Yep, the guys are that I am familiar with who have been talking to have been fishing from a boat. It's about the same as what we do up at the Shad Wreck up there below Bonneville Dam. Boy, you got to find the lane, but you're 8 to 20 feet of water per lead dropper with a Dick Knight. Get it on the bottom, find those lanes, and you get in the lanes, you will catch a lot of fish.
All right, it's the 2017 Shad Run. They're a ton of fun. Even if you don't like to eat them, they make great bait for both crab and for sturgeon, and they put up a great fight. Take the kids out for this one, and if you can't catch them below Bonneville Dam, then head further downstream to Cathlamet. Nello, thanks for telling us all about this, and why don't you give out the website for CCA Washington while you're at it?
Yeah, thank you, John. We are at ccawashington.org.
That's ccawashington.org. Check them out. The Coastal Conservation Association is all about conservation, and they keep anglers in mind.
There's a whole bunch more of the great outdoors coming your way on Fox Sports 1380.
Looking for a way to get the message out about your business to hunters and anglers throughout the Seattle and Everett area? Then consider advertising with America Outdoors Radio on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO. To find out more, contact John Cruz through his website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com.
I fish lots of lakes, I fish them all year round. Oh, I fish lots of lakes, everywhere I'm bound. Can't say which lake's the best until I try all the rest. Going fishing, fishing, fishing. Oh, I'll fish Maple Lake, French Lake, Grand Lake, Cedar Lake, Pleasant Lake, Clear Lake, Bass Lake, Otter Lake, Goose Lake, Gull Lake, Round Lake, Bear Lake, Rice Lake, Sugar Lake, Mud Lake, Long Lake, Ann Lake, Swan Lake, and Lake of the Woods. Oh, I fish everywhere.
Welcome back to America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. This portion of the show is brought to you by Northwest Sportsman Magazine. It is the monthly publication covering the fishing and hunting scene throughout the northwestern United States. Look for it at a newsstand near you. Now, if you pick up a copy of Northwest Sportsman Magazine, you're not going to hear about our next subject that's taking place not in the Northwest, but in Arkansas. It's the Big Bass Bonanza. It's coming back again this year. There's $100,000 up for grabs in cash and prizes for amateur anglers. With us here to tell you more about it is Jill Thiel with the Arkansas Hospitality Association. Jill, welcome to the show.
Hi, John. Thanks for having us.
So, Jill, tell our listeners a little bit more about the Simmons Bank Big Bass Bonanza taking place throughout the state of Arkansas. What is it exactly, and what are the dates?
Okay. The Arkansas Big Bass Bonanza is on the Arkansas River, and it's about 300 miles from the top of the state to the bottom of the state, and it's always the last weekend in June. So this year it will be June 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
So this is a very unique sort of bass tournament. Again, it covers the entire length of the Arkansas River from the border of Oklahoma all the way to the border of Mississippi. I'm guessing it's all largemouth bass we're targeting here?
Yes, it's all largemouth bass. And it's basically 5 tournaments running simultaneously because we have 5 different pools that each have their own weigh station. So we have it broken down through the lock and dam system, and all that information is on our website at arkansasbigbass.com.
Okay, so here's a question for you, Jill. If I head out there to Arkansas and decide I want to participate, and I go ahead and launch my boat, and I'm fishing one of these reservoirs that are part of the Arkansas River behind one of the dams, and it's not good, can I move to a different reservoir or a different pool and fish that during the time this derby's going on?
You sure can, yes. In fact, we encourage people, if they're not getting what they need at that spot, to go ahead and move to another hot spot, and then just so long as you weigh in at the weigh-in site that goes with your pool boundaries.
So how big did the bass get in terms of, if you're thinking, I've got a big bass here, is it going to have a shot at being the winning bass? How big does it have to be?
We've had some people win on a 6-pound fish, the overall tournament. Last year's winner was a 7.25. Every hour at each weigh-in site, we have an hourly winner, the top 3. So you can win hourly money plus pool money for having a, 4-pound fish, 3-pound fish.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun to me. And let's talk about the prizes, because I understand that there's $100,000 that's up for grabs, and there's a $50,000 check waiting for the angler who weighs in the biggest fish. Tell us more about what's out there for folks who want to participate and bring back some cash or prizes.
Sure. The $100,000 is guaranteed, and that's an overall prize package we have. $50,000 goes to the largest fish overall for the entire tournament for the weekend. And then at each weigh-in site, each pool has a $10,000 winner to the largest fish in the 4 remaining pools. And then we have place money of $900 to the second place person, $700 to the third place person, and $400 to the fourth place person in all 5 pools. And then we also have hourly money, which is based on how many entries we have. But we do 1, 2, and 3 places for each hour, all 5 hours, all 3 days, all 5 pools. And then we also have a $1,000 Willow Leaf Award, because we want our younger generation to get out there and fish with their parents and grandparents. So we encourage those people that are fishing together, if they let their weighmaster know and they are one of the largest fish, they get a $1,000 bonus.
I really like the fact you're doing that, and I really like the fact that anyone can participate. No, you're not going to see Skeet Reese or some of the Bass Pros out there. I mean, this is really meant for amateur anglers, no matter what kind of boat you own. As a matter of fact, I'm guessing some people probably fish from shore, don't they?
They do. Yep. And it's an amateur-only tournament, so no pros allowed.
Last but not least, how do folks sign up for the annual Simmons Bank Big Bass Bonanza in Arkansas?
We have a website, which is arkansasbigbass.com. We have an online registration. We have 17 registration sites throughout the state. It also lists my address and my telephone number. If you call and you want me to fax you or email you an entry form, I can do that as well. So all the information is on arkansasbigbass.com.
All right, folks, one more time. That's arkansasbigbass.com. That's arkansasbigbass.com for the Arkansas Big Bass Bonanza, taking place the last weekend of June. Head over to Arkansas, trailer your boat, launch it in one of the pools there, and with any luck, you're going to bring home a $50,000 check. Jill, thanks for telling us all about this on America Outdoors Radio.
Thank you, John.
Another event coming up doesn't involve bass. No, it involves marlin, and it's coming up in the Sea of Cortez in Baja, Mexico. It's the Islands of Loreto Fishing and Golf Tournament, brought to you by Villa del Palmar Resort at the Islands of Loreto, and it's taking place July 27th through the 29th. There's 2 contests going on here. The first, of course, is the marlin fishing tournament. You're going to be going after marlin that weigh at least 200 pounds. You'll be fishing in the Sea of Cortez in an area known as the Aquarium of the World. The minimum weight is 200 pounds, and the winning fish is worth 100,000 Mexican pesos, the equivalent of over 5,000 U.S. dollars. There's also cash prizes for second and third place as well. On the golfing side, you will be golfing the Par 72 Danzante Bay Golf Course, which features an unusual topographic blend of desert, mountain, and dunes, and the famed Hole 17, which has an incredible view that you will appreciate. Things will kick off on Thursday the 27th, where you'll register for the tournament and go over the rules during a welcome reception. And then Friday morning, there's going to be a shotgun start for the anglers who will be taking part in the 2-day tournament to see who brings in the biggest marlin. During this same time period is when the golf tournament takes place. And if you win the golf tournament, you will win a 4-night, 5-day stay in a deluxe studio room at the 5-star Villa del Palmar Resort in Loretto. It's valued at $1,500. I was lucky enough to stay there last year when I covered the first annual fishing and golf tournament, and I can tell you, it is a wonderful place. The cost to participate, $1,600, and that tournament package includes a registration fee for a team of 4 and either the rental of a Super Panga boat for 2 days of fishing during the tournament or a 2-night, 3-day stay in 2 deluxe suites. You see, we've got half of your vacation and tournament paid for right there through the fishing fee itself. It's open to anyone, no matter what's your experience level. It promises to be all sorts of fun. You can find out more by going to tournament.donzantebay.com. That website again, tournament.donzantebay.com for the second annual Islands of Loretto Fishing and Golf Tournament taking place July 27th to the 29th in sunny Baja, Mexico, fishing the waters of the Sea of Cortez. I know I'm going to try to make it down there, and I hope to see you there. Stick around. We've got a whole bunch more of the great outdoors coming your way and some pretty interesting outdoors news as well. Right after these words from our sponsors and this great music from John Kurkowski, who writes all sorts of fun fishing songs.
Fish everywhere. Maple Lake, French Lake, Grand Lake, Cedar Lake, Pleasant Lake, Clear Lake, Bass Lake, Collar Lake, Goose Lake, Gull Lake, Round Lake, Bear Lake, Rice Lake, Sugar Lake, Mud Lake, Long Lake, Ant Lake, Swan Lake, Lake of the Woods. Oh, I fish everywhere.
Garibaldi Charters offers fantastic fishing for salmon, tuna, halibut, and bottomfish off the North Oregon coast. With only an hour-and-a-half drive from Beaverton, you can get here in a hurry and go fishing. 2 of our more popular offerings include private charters for salmon and live bait tuna fishing. We can also accommodate groups of up to 20 people on our boats. Book your adventure now at GaribaldiCharters.com or call 1-800-900-HOOK. That's 1-800-900-HOOK or GaribaldiCharters.com.
If you consider yourself a hardcore fisherman who takes pride in being the first person on the water and the last one off, Fish Fighter products were designed for you. We make products for the relentless fishermen who know that big fish are caught by those who put in the work. With our Relentless Series tackle trays, rocket launcher rod racks, and breakaway river anchors, you'll spend more time chasing the fish, not your gear. Designed and built right here in the USA, Fish Fighter products won't let you down. Gear up at fishfighterproducts.com.
If you carry concealed, how do you carry your backup magazine? On your belt? Loose in your pocket? Not at all? Snag Mag is the solution. It's the original concealed pocket magazine holster that looks like you're carrying a pocket knife. Concealed in plain sight and designed for a fast reload, you can be confident your backup ammo is exactly where you need it when you need it. Find your holster today at snagmag.com. That's snagmag.com, because there's no such thing as extra ammo.
Luth AR is the home of the Modular Buttstock Assembly, or MBA for short. Not only do we make modular buttstocks for your AR-15 rifle, we'll help you choose the MBA that's right for you. We also offer parts and accessories to customize your AR. If you're looking for a quality MBA that weighs less and costs less, the Luth AR MBA is for you. Find out more at luth-ar.com. That's luth-ar.com.
Invasive species are organisms that are non-native to an ecosystem. They outcompete native species and reduce the quality of our resources. We can all prevent the spread by following the simple clean, drain, and dry steps. Clean all watercraft, trailers, and outdoor equipment. Drain all water from boat live wells, motors, ballast tanks, and bilges. And lastly, thoroughly dry all equipment and gear. Do your part to preserve our amazing outdoor heritage for future generations.
Hughes Craft is the Pacific Northwest best-selling boat. It's a family fishing boat that has been providing the most safety, fishability, and the best value to Northwest boaters since 1948. Hughes Craft's welded aluminum boats are built for serious fishermen with plenty of room for fighting fish, not the rest of the crew. Our state-of-the-art design allows for pure fishing functionality and the durability to last season after season, year after year, and decade after decade. To find the Hughes Craft dealer nearest you, visit HughesCraft.com. From SF Gate Online News, I've learned a valuable lesson. Don't paddle a red kayak in the ocean, especially in California's Monterey Bay. That's because a video was taken there at the end of May by a bystander of a great white shark attacking a red kayak there. The kayaker who was in the vessel reported being thrown from it when the shark initially attacked, and as you might imagine, he swam away as fast as he could while the thrashing shark, which appeared to be very big indeed, continued to try to make a meal of his small craft. I know as an angler, I use red hooks at times to simulate blood coming from a bait fish. Who knows? Maybe this shark thought he was getting the ultimate bloody rare steak of a meal when it attacked. Great white shark sightings have become very common off of California beaches this year. According to the Orange County Register, a video was circulated showing some 15 great white sharks swimming around San Onofre, and there was a recent near-fatal shark attack here as well, prompting some surfers to stay out of the water and a couple of surfing organizers to cancel events. Leave it to fishermen, though, to make lemonade out of these lemons. Several anglers have been catching great white sharks as of late. That includes right off of public piers. The problem with that is that the great white is a protected species, and the California Department of Fish and Wildlife has been trying to educate folks about that, letting them know that not only is it against the law to keep a great white shark, but it's even illegal to try and catch them. That's why Fish and Game officers are doing some extra patrols along the beaches and piers looking for fishermen who don't get the message and continue to try to catch these top-tier predators from the ocean. In the meantime, have fun swimming, surfing, and kayaking off those California beaches and in those California bays. As for me, I think I'm going to steer clear until those great white sharks move a little further offshore. Continuing with our outdoors news, which is brought to you appropriately this hour by California Sportsman Magazine, we're taking you from the Golden State to the Lone Star State of Texas, where one angler was definitely thinking out of the box. The fast food box, that is, for his bait of choice. The Fishing Wire reports Matthew McNellis was fishing some flooded trees behind the Highview Marina on Lake Bardwell in Ennis, Texas on May 8th when he caught a giant largemouth bass on, wait for it, a McDonald's chicken nugget. Yep, you heard that right. A Mickey D's chicken nugget. McNellis had attached a jug line for catfish, and instead of a catfish, a trophy largemouth took the bait. The bass measured 24.5 inches and weighed 10.8 pounds, besting the current lake record bass of 10.4 pounds caught back in 2006 on a minnow. So there you go. If you don't have night crawlers or worms, just use chicken nuggets. Unlike night crawlers, you can eat any of them you don't use at the end of the day. We told you about some upcoming bass tournaments earlier in this broadcast. Now let's bring you the results from the other warm water species tournament anglers love to compete for, walleye. We'll start off with the Cabela's National Walleye Tour. They had a tournament at Lake Sacagawea in North Dakota on May 11th and 12th. Dwayne Helm from Fort Pierce, South Dakota, won the Pro Angler Division with a 2-day total of 45.4 pounds of marble eyes caught during an event that featured lots of fat limits caught by the 112 teams participating in this event. The key to success? Fishing 30 to 40 feet deep and also in shallow waters at times with plastics and minnows to attract walleye that were gorging themselves on smelt. With his win, Hume took home one heck of a first-place prize package worth over $86,000, which included not only $17,000 in cash, but also a brand new fishing boat powered by a 250-horse Evinrude motor. Meanwhile, in the Northwest, we've got the results from the Gordon Steinmetz Memorial Spring Walleye Classic that took place at Banks Lake. Gordon, also known as Big Wally, after his guide service and also after the longtime tackle shop he owned on this big eastern Washington reservoir, would have been proud of the fact 132 anglers participated in the two-day tournament put on by the Spokane Walleye Club on May 20th and the 21st. The winning team was Bill and Robin Harrison, who weighed in some 36.5 pounds of walleye between them. The two also weighed in the big fish of the tournament, a monster 9.5 pounder. Way to go, Harrisons. Next on America Outdoors Radio, we've just told you about a couple of walleye tournaments. Now we thought we'd tell you about a boat maker who is making some great boats that you'll also see in some of these tournaments. We are chatting with Clint Carey again with Hughes Craft out of Colville, Washington. Clint, I understand that you've built a boat that has been appearing in the Cabela's Masters Walleye Circuit, most recently in Green Bay.
That's right, John. Thanks for having me on again. I know that a lot of people in the Pacific Northwest know about us as kind of the offshore saltwater rugged fishing boat. We're still the number one boat in Alaska and number one welded aluminum boat in the Pacific Northwest. But, yeah, we've just started to build boats that are a little more suited to the walleye fishermen, especially in the big water that a lot of the walleye tournaments take place in and around the Great Lakes.
Well, it's not just in the Great Lakes either. I mean, yeah, you've got great walleye fishing in the Great Lakes, but you've got great walleye fishing in the Northwest in big bodies of water like Lake Roosevelt and on the Columbia River proper. So all over where walleye fishermen go, they have to deal with some rough conditions and some rough waters at times. It just kind of goes with the territory, for lack of a better word. What do you do with your boats that helps them get through it?
Well, right now, we've got a couple of really great fishermen that are using one of our adapted Ocean Pro models, Brian Zaremski and Ali Shakur, who have both participated in the Cabela's Masters Walleye Circuit for a couple of years now. They're fishing out of a 24-foot Ocean Pro soft top with a rigid frame on it that whether they're fishing in good or bad weather, they can take that thing down or leave it up, but it gives them a good fishing accessories frame on top of the boat for guys who want to run multiple rigs out the back of their boat while they're fishing. So those guys have had some success last year in the 2016 Walleye Circuit, and they just finished the Green Bay tournament and did pretty well out there. That boat, because it's kind of built on a frame that beats up the Alaskan and the Pacific Northwestern waters, it handles a lot of the big water in the Great Lakes better than some of the smaller walleye boats that you see out there, the traditional walleye brands that are out there. It looks a little bit different because it looks like a Pacific Northwest boat when you go out there, but we can tell you the eyes and the conversations that follow that boat around, because it handles the waves like a big water ocean boat, but still is a good walleye fishing platform, have been outstanding for us this year.
This boat in particular, how big is it and how trailerable is it?
Yeah, that's a good question. All of our boats, Hughes Craft boats, are meant to be trailered. Because it's a welded aluminum product, it's going to be about a third lighter than a comparably sized fiberglass walleye fishing boat. It has a really deep and long fishing area, but it's still, because it's trailerable, it's 102 inches wide. It keeps you underneath all of the regulations to be able to tow that thing back and forth. You don't need much more than a half-ton pickup to get that thing around, but it'll fish 6 people comfortably, and the 2 fishermen kind of tournament setup is a ridiculous amount of space. So easy to trailer, but a lot of room.
All right, one more time. What is this specific model again so folks can check it out for fishing for walleye on the big lakes?
Yeah, John, it's the 24-foot Ocean Pro. You'll see it in the Cabela's Masters Walleye Circuit as well as the Fall Brawl on Lake Erie. You can see it. It's gray with some beautiful green graphics on the side that say "Fish Longer." It's our slogan for Hughes Craft right now. That boat will take you out and it'll let you fish longer when everybody else is driving home. So it's a pretty great boat, John.
All right, well, look for it the next time you see the Cabela's Masters Walleye Circuit on the television. And you can find out more about the Ocean Pro and other great boats made by Hughes Craft by going to their website at hughescraft.com. There's a dealer locator there, too, hughescraft.com. AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. Thanks as always, Clint.
Thanks, John. It's always good to be with you.
I'm afraid it's time to go, but if you get a chance, go to our website, AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. You can find out what's coming up in the week ahead and listen to a podcast just in case you missed part of this week's or last week's show. We're on Facebook, too, at America Outdoors Radio. I hope that you'll like our page and follow us there, and you can always hear our show on your mobile app. 2 ways to do it. You can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Just look for Northwestern Outdoors. That's one word. And look for our America Outdoors Radio's podcast, or through Podbean. That's another way. One other place to hear us on the net is on WRVO Radio. That website, RenoViolaOutdoors.com. It's an internet station that's got outdoors programming 24 hours a day. With June here, it is indeed time to get out there for some fun fishing, especially on some of the lakes and on the salt water here in our great nation. Until next time, remember, it's your country and your outdoors.
It's time for another local shot of the outdoors. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, and you'll only hear it here on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
With us again is Lance Mers with Max Lure Company. Lance, a lot of people have been fishing the saltwater for salmon. Some of them, though, have been frustrated, have not gotten the fish they want. Any suggestions for them?
Yeah, absolutely, John. We've got a lure called the Cha-Cha Salmon Squidder. And it comes in 4 different styles. It's a 4-inch squid body. It got 2 red hooks on it, a size 3/0 and a 4/0. They're all high UV glow, and you can use it with or without bait for the salmon or any bottom fish for that matter.
I see it's got the patented smile blade on for flash and attraction too. You know, there's something about that combination, that Mylar smile blade, the hoochie. I don't know what it is about a hoochie, but fish go wild about that, whether it's freshwater or saltwater. And I'm a big believer in the red hook theory. I didn't used to be until I was fishing side by side, same lure with red hooks. They work.
Absolutely. And the smile blade is 2.8 inches. So you're getting a lot of extra flash and attraction in the water with this setup.
All right. So if you're not catching the salmon that you want, either off the Oregon or Washington coast or in Puget Sound, give the Cha-Cha Salmon Squidder a try. You can find it at a sporting goods dealer near you or online at maxlure.com. Lance, always a pleasure.
Have a good one, John.
There's a whole bunch more of the great outdoors coming your way on Fox Sports 1380.
We're talking to Mike Meisberg at Mardon Resort today about one of the big reasons you'll want to stay at Potholes Reservoir in sunny eastern Washington this spring. What's the big deal, Mike?
We have over 50 sheep lakes below Sullivan Dam for trout, perch, crappie, and bass in the spring, while Potholes Reservoir is a bass and walleye fisherman's mecca.
There you have it. Great fishing under sunny skies. Find out more at MardonResort.com. That's Mardon Resort, where the fish bite, but we don't.
Great googly moogans, you should see the view from up here.
Fred, get off those rocks right now.
Oh, don't be a wet blanket, Marge. What could go wrong?
Sneaker waves are huge swells that come out of nowhere.
What was that?
Sneaker wave, Dad. Size triple E.
Fred was lucky. Keep an eye on the ocean. Respect the beach.
Are you an outfitter, sporting goods retailer, boat dealer, or someone else in the outdoors industry? If you are, you know targeted advertising works best, and what would work better than advertising with America Outdoors Radio? Our hour-long show is heard throughout Seattle, Everett, and the East Side every Saturday morning, and your message will be heard there too. Better still, our rates are way more affordable than you think. Want to find out more? Contact me, John Cruz, through my website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. That's America Outdoors Radio, bringing you more business.